Chicago Fire, Med and PD fans may see less of their favorite characters next season. Chicago Fire, Med and PD might be returning for new seasons this fall, but it seems we could be seeing less of some beloved characters next season. NBC's One Chicago franchise shows no signs of slowing down, even after more than a decade on the air. And it was of little surprise when NBC announced the official renewals of Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD for the 2025-26 season. The One Chicago trio remains the network's top performers on NBC, ranking as the network's most-watched programs, and the shows also perform incredibly well on NBC's sister streaming service, Peacock. It was also of little surprise when NBC announced that the shows will continue to hold down the fort on Wednesday nights this fall. Fans are eager to see how the shows wrap their current seasons, with the expectation being that we could have some major cliffhangers coming our way when the finals air on May 21. Fortunately, we know Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD will be coming back in the fall, which means we'll get a proper resolution to the cliffhangers. That's the good news. The bad news is that while the One Chicago shows will be back this fall, there is a chance we could be seeing less of some of our favorite characters when the three shows return. As fans will recall, as part of cost-cutting measures from the network implemented back in 2022, series regulars no longer appear in every episode of the season. Under this arrangement, series regulars tend to miss about 2 episodes during the season, which typically occur randomly, with the writers addressing the absence of the characters via quick one-off lines or conversations between characters. Then there are times when a character is just randomly MIA, without any explanation, only to then return the following week. Disappointing as this has been, the One Chicago writers have done a really solid job of working around this restriction. In some cases, we've gotten to see more character-focused episodes that have honed in on a particular member of the cast, leading to some really incredible episodes, such as this season's Archer-focused episode of Chicago Med. In other episodes, it leads to some fun storylines, such as when we got the chance to follow some of the 51 crew during a night shift that allowed for some unique storylines. It was always expected that this would continue into the new seasons, but it seems the number of episodes some actors miss could be on the rise. Deadline has reported that the range of episodes some members of the Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD series regulars won't be in is expected to be about 2 to 4. This means some actors could miss about a fifth of the season should we see a 20 to 22 episode season next year. But that's not where the bad news stops, unfortunately. As an additional cost-cutting effort, it seems that the casts of Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD have been asked to take up residency in Illinois, where the shows are filmed. Those who choose not to become residents will reportedly appear in fewer episodes. No exact episode count was revealed. However, it seems likely that actors who don't live in-state could miss upwards of 5 or more episodes in the seasons ahead, which is wild. It's unclear which actors might not already be residents of Illinois, but we imagine details will emerge as soon as contracts are inked for the new season. We're hoping most of the cast won't be impacted by this new change, as the thought of series regulars missing more than 4 episodes in a season is concerning. That could really shake up character storylines and dynamics across the season, and result in fan favorites appearing in a smaller percentage of the season. Changes in the air over Chicago, not just in the gusty winds swirling off Lake Michigan, but across the fictional corridors of Gaffney Chicago Medical Center, the firehouse of Engine 51, and the gritty precinct of District 21. As the beloved One Chicago trio gears up for its next season, loyal fans may need to brace themselves for fewer appearances from some of their favorite characters. It's not a full goodbye, more like a bittersweet "see you when we see you." Sources close to production have quietly confirmed that the upcoming season will feature a rotational approach to storytelling, meaning not every main character will appear in every episode. It's a strategy born from necessity, tightened budgets, shorter episode orders, and a more ensemble-focused direction that's being embraced across the board at NBC. The end result? A screen time shuffle. Chicago Fire. The flames burn slower. For Chicago Fire, that could mean we'll see less of stalwarts like Joe Cruz, Joe Manoso, or even Stella Kid, Miranda Ray Mayo, who have both carried major emotional arcs in recent seasons. Fans might remember Cruz's heartbreaking tribute to Otis and his journey into fatherhood, or Stella's struggles balancing squad leadership with personal life. These deeply layered stories won't disappear, but they may be spaced out more. One insider shared, "They're trying to give each character room to breathe without exhausting all the emotional beats at once. Expect more character-specific episodes and fewer full-cast storylines every week." For viewers, this means that your favorite firefighter may go MIA for an episode or two, not because they're gone, but because the writers are stretching arcs over a longer timeline. Even Firehouse 51's Rock, Chief Bowden, Eamon Walker may appear less frequently, possibly as a way to ease into a future transition. Rumors of Bowden's retirement, or at least a step back, have circulated quietly for some time now, with some speculating that a leadership shift might be coming. Chicago Med, paging the new guard. Over at Chicago Med, the Whitecoats aren't immune to change either. With several cast exits in recent seasons, remember when Dr. Ethan Choi left us? The revolving door at Gaffney is spinning yet again. Word is that Dr. Crockett Marcel, Dominic Raines, may take a backseat for part of the season as producers look to spotlight new or returning faces. Also potentially appearing less, Dr. Will Halstead's replacement in the ER hierarchy, whose presence was initially positioned to lead the department into its next phase. But budgetary recalibrations have led to more group scenes and less emphasis on individual characters' solo arcs. The hospital drama plans to lean into medical ethics dilemmas and tight-knit team decision-making more than sprawling romance storylines, at least for now. While fans of Dr. Charles, Oliver Platt, can rest easy, his presence remains crucial. It's still possible that even his screen time might be trimmed as scenes become more plot-centric and less personalized. Chicago PD. Thinner blue lines. Perhaps the hardest pill to swallow for Chicago PD fans is the potential for reduced screen time from characters like Kim Burgess, Marina Scorsese, Kevin Atwater, LeRoyce Hawkins, and even Hank Voight, Jason Begg, himself. Though Voight remains a central figure in the intelligence unit, showrunners have reportedly toyed with the idea of letting newer team members take the wheel more often. This could be a response to growing fan interest in seeing fresh perspectives within the unit, though no one is asking for a full torch passing yet. Instead, fans may see a more segmented narrative approach. One episode focused on Burgess and Ruzek navigating their post-trauma family dynamic, another giving Atwater space to grapple with systemic challenges in policing. In a storytelling twist, it's even possible that characters could be sent undercover or off-screen for operational reasons, a creative way to justify their temporary absence without breaking continuity. Why it's happening? This strategy isn't unique to the One Chicago universe. Many network dramas are adjusting to post-strike realities. Smaller episode counts, sometimes 13 instead of 22, tighter filming schedules, and more cross-promotion with streaming platforms that prefer binge-friendly arcs. For NBC, it's about sustainability, keeping these franchises alive without burning out the actors or the fans.